twins called household chores abuse and threatened to report me to CPS for making them do dishes, so I gave them what they asked for. My twins Jasper and Ruby were 14 when they decided they were too good for housework. Started simple enough with them forgetting to make their beds or leaving dishes in the sink. Normal teenage stuff that I'd remind them about and they'd grudgingly fix. My husband Dale and I both worked full-time, but we kept the house running with everyone doing their part. At least we did until the twins discovered some online forum about children's rights and decided we were monsters. It started when I asked Jasper to vacuum the living room one Saturday. He'd been gaming for 6 hours straight and I needed help getting the house ready for his grandparents' visit. He looked me dead in the eye and said forcing children to do unpaid labor was exploitation. I laughed thinking he was joking, but he pulled up some article on his phone about how chores were teaching kids to accept unfair working conditions. Ruby jumped in saying her friend's mom hired a cleaner so her friend could focus on her education and mental health. I explained that we weren't her friend's family and everyone contributed here. That's when they said the word abuse. Ruby announced that forcing them to clean was abusive parenting and they'd learned about it in their psychology class. Apparently, making your child do dishes could cause trauma and low self-esteem. Jasper added that his guidance counselor said teenagers needed time to develop their identities, not waste it on manual labor. They actually threatened to talk to their counselor about our abusive household expectations. Dale nearly choked on his coffee. That night, the twins presented us with research about child development and how excessive chores were harmful. They'd made a whole presentation with slides about kids in other countries who had to work instead of going to school, comparing that to them having to clean their bathroom once a week. They said good parents prioritize their children's happiness over having a clean house. They proposed a new system where they'd do one small task per month, their choice, and we'd handle everything else since we were the ones who wanted a clean house anyway. I said absolutely not, and they called me controlling. The next week, they went on strike, refused to do a single chore, left their rooms destroyed, dishes everywhere, bathroom like a disaster zone. When we insisted, they'd loudly discuss calling Child Protective Services about the emotional abuse they were enduring. Ruby actually told her teacher she was stressed from being forced to do slave labor at home. The teacher called me concerned, and I had to explain my daughter was talking about loading the dishwasher. That's when I decided to show them what zero chores actually meant. First, I stopped doing anything for them. No laundry, no cooking their meals, no cleaning their spaces, no driving them places. When Jasper asked where his clean uniform was for basketball, I told him I wouldn't want to exploit him by doing his unpaid labor. He had to wear a dirty uniform to practice, and coach made him run laps for being unprepared. Ruby couldn't find any clean clothes for school picture day because I'd stopped washing anything that came from their rooms. She had to wear the same outfit 3 days in a row until she figured out the washing machine herself. Then I stopped buying their preferred foods, just basic ingredients they'd have to cook themselves. No more snacks, sodas, or ready-made anything. When they complained they were hungry, I said preparing their food would be forcing unpaid labor on myself, and I knew they were against that. They lived on cereal and sandwiches for 2 weeks before Jasper learned to cook pasta. The bathroom they shared got so disgusting I put a lock on the guest bathroom and the master bathroom. Told them since cleaning bathrooms was abuse, I wouldn't subject them to it, but Dale and I weren't going to clean theirs either. When Ruby's friends came over and saw the state of their bathroom, they left immediately. Word got around school that the twins lived in filth. The breaking point was when I stopped submitting their sports permission slips and activity fees. Told them managing their paperwork was unpaid administrative labor I wouldn't be doing anymore. Jasper missed the travel basketball team tryouts. Ruby couldn't perform in the dance recital she'd practiced for months. They both sobbed about how unfair I was being. I explained this wasn't abuse. This was them getting exactly what they asked for, a life where no one did unpaid labor for anyone else. After a month of living in squalor, eating poorly, and missing everything important to them, they begged us to go back to the old system. But they admitted chores weren't abuse and apologized for threatening to report us. They deep cleaned their bathroom without being asked and started doing their laundry weekly. Now they do their chores without complaint. Ruby even tells her friends her parents taught her valuable life skills. Last week, Jasper thanked me for making him learn responsibility. Funny how quick kids learn when they get exactly what they claim they want.